So finally we get over of its boring part, and we are going to dive into the fun part, which is JavaScript. But before we start writing codes on JavaScript, we are going to set its display to none. So I say style display to none. We're going to do the same for the car too. So I say style and display to none. So after that, make sure to connect your link your JavaScript with your HTML. So here I say script, and make sure to defer it to be run at the first, and after that src, and inside the src we're going to put the name of this, so app.js, and after that make sure to save it and go to the app.js. Now here we have to access to each elements of JavaScript, each elements of HTML. So first of one is the main timer, and we are going to access it using its document.get element, using its element, using its ID, so it's main timer. And after that we are going to do the same for word, for timer, for input type, for button, for car1, car2, and line. So here I say word, the other one is timer, timer, the other one is input type. These are the IDs that I wrote before. The other one is button. So the next one is car1, the other one is car2, and the last one is the lines. So and we have to change it from here. So here I click on, I say word, and this one to timer holder, timer holder. And sorry for typing repeated things and wasting your time, but we have to. Input type, button, and car1, car1, car2, car2, and the last one is lines. So now we need some variables. I'll explain why I create these variables. We need a variable for timer of the that one that I told you about, to make the car, whenever it reach to 0, it's push the car a few to back. And the other one is for main counter, and the main counter is that 60 that you saw in the app, and the other is the var count down timer, countdown timer. So we assign nothing to this, and after that we need a variable for a score. So I say var score, and this is going to be 0 by default. And so we done, and we need one array, which is I call it a random word. This is going to hold some random word for now, but we can put more and more words here. So I say apple, orange, man, world, and that's enough for now. We put more here. So after that we need something to do here. The first one is to make that input type disabled, to user can't click or type on something before the game is started. So I say input type dot disable it, and assign it to true. This is going to disable the input type. So I save it and go to the browser, make sure to refresh. You see that I can't click on. Now it's time to go and write the codes for the unclick of that button. So I say button dot unclick, and it's unclick. We are going to write we are going to call a function. This function is going to add something for us. The first one is as to add the class list that are need for the card. So I say car1 dot class list, I told you about that we're going to add its class list using JavaScript. So the first one is the start car one, and that here is it. Where is it? Start car one, car two. This is for car two, and we will car two, and this is car one. So here is the car one. We can call multiple classes inside the class list just by putting or passing a space. Then you can type another class. So here I put the second one. I say car2 dot class list. We are going to do the same for car2. I say start car2, car2, and car2. So now we have to write the code for the lines to be moved. So I say lines dot class list, and this class list is going to take the lines class. So now we're done. We have to make the cars to display on the web page. So I say var car1 dot style dot display, and this is going to display the car for us. I say inline, and we're going to do the same for car2. So I say car2. Now if I save it and go to the browser and refresh and start and press the start, you see that the cars are coming and the street is moving. Now we need to write the codes for this car to move forward. Uh, so how can I do that? Just by pathing the car yellow yellow car step. So this make the car to move, but it will create that problem for you. So if I click on, you see that this car is here before even it start is animated there a start car. So we need to call this after some seconds. So here I'm going to call as set intervals as set timer. So I say set time out, and this is going to be called after 3 seconds, and it's going to add to the car to class list one more classes. I just copy and paste it down here and add a new classes, which is car yellow car step. So now we done, and if I save it and go to the browser or start it, and you see that everything is fine and this car is moving. Come on, this is moving correctly. So now we done, and if the user click on this button for multiple times, it will go to create some problems. So I want to make it whenever I click the button be disabled. So I say button dot disable it to disable it to true. So this is going to disable the car. So after that, whenever we click on that button, I want the focus to be on the input type. So input type dot focus. This function is going to put the focus on that input type. So after that, we set everything. Now we need to write the code for the small countdown timer, the second countdown timer. Countdown timer. So this is the second countdown timer. I just put a name to it. So now we are writing code for it. I'm just going to set an interval to it. So I say set interval, and this is going to be called after each seconds, and this is going to put in the timer holder which we declared before, and its inner HTML is going to put the timer, that variable that I declared on the app. And now we have to decrease the timer. So I say timer minus minus. This is going to decrease the timer. We need to write an if statement if the timer is reached to 0, timer after reached to -1. This here make to the countdown timer reach to 0, not to -1. But if you put the 0, it's going to be counting till 1 and start over again. If the timer is reached to -1, this is going to put the timer equal to 5, which is perfect. So after that, we have to write the code for main countdown timer. So I say main countdown timer. The main countdown timer is this one. So here I just set an interval like before, like here. So I say set interval. So this is going to be called after uh, this is going to be called after 1 second, actually, after a second. So uh, inside this we are going to write something. The first one is to put the timer and the main timer in the inner HTML of main timer. So I say inner HTML of main timer, put the main counter. So main counter, and you remember the main counter variable which had the contain the value of 60. Then we are going to decrease the main counter to countdown. So I say main counter is going to decrease this one. So now we have to write an if statement. This if statement is going to check the main counter and assign it to -1. And I told you about the -1. I don't want to explain again. If it reaches to 0, it's going to put the main counter to 60 again. That means the game is start over again, and reload the web page. So I say set timeout, and it's going to be occur after 3 seconds. And um, inside this I say location dot reload. This is going to reload the web page after the timer has reached to zero, and after the 3 seconds of that. So make sure to put the its parenthesis, cause this is a method. And after that we write this one, actually this one, and now we have to write the result of the code. So here I put the game result, and here we're going to write the codes for it. I say if the car one, if the score was equal to or bigger than 14, this is going to alert us that we won. For now we will set something else, so you won. And if not, else, and the else is going to call car2 dot style dot margin left, and its margin left you are going to put its margin left to something like 2000. It's going to put push the car to 2000 pixels. So after that we need to alert it that you lose, and that's all. So we're done with this one, and now we have to move the red car. So how can I do that? Here I write the codes for onClick. Actually now I have to write the codes for input type. Whenever the input type is collected, it's going to move the car for us. So where I can type the code for input type, actually here. Perfect. Input type. That's perfect. So after that I say input type. Whenever an input type is key press on key press. So on the on key press of it, we are going to call a function, and this function is going to do these things for us. First of all, check if the input type value was equal to the inner HTML of the word. So I say word dot inner HTML. If you didn't know what is the word inner HTML, this is the word, and its inner HTML is the value that we generate randomly. And actually we have to generate a randomly word when we collect the classes. So here I'm going to generate a random word. How can I do that? So here I say a random word dot sort. Using the sort methods of JavaScript, we are going to sort these things. So inside this, I call a function, and this function is going to return as, is going to return 0.5 minus mat dot random, and this is going to generate as a random word, and we're going to just get one of them. So I say input type dot value, input type dot value, and its value we're going to get the first elements of this one. So I say the first elements of the word is a random word, and the first one is 0. So you remember that in one of my tutorials I told you that index are start counting from 0. You can put any number here, is going to generate as a random word. So, and now we need to write the codes for this one. So here and the if statements of this, I'm going to, whenever this that mean, put this one too, and if this was equal to this one, it's going to add to a score. So I say a score plus plus, this is going to add to a score, and after that we are going to generate a random number, which I came here, just copy and paste it there. Copy, Control C, Control V, and make sure to put this one too. So after that, we put here is going to generate as a random word as the input type dot value, put its value to nothing, that whenever the word is correct is going to declare the first one, clear the first one, and put a random new word. So after that we have to put the timer to 5, which means to put that timer, that second timer that I put a name for it, it's going to put it to 5. So after that, in the timer holder, in the timer holder, come on, in the timer holder dot inner HTML, we are going to put the 5 to make it look better. Now I call a function for moving the car. So here I say, sorry for this, move. This we didn't declare this function here. So here I put a comment and say move the car, the red car. So here I declare this function. So I say function move by. Why is it move by? Sorry. And this is move, and open up the parentheses, this one too. But before we start on writing codes in this one, we need two variables. The first one is let me think about, it's point. So the first one is point, which is the how many steps the car should move, and the second one is var pos, which is the current position of the car. By default, you remember that our red car position was -19, and after that we are going to write the codes for it, and I declare a interval here, so I say interval, and I decided to set interval, and inside the interval, this one, and we are going to declare a function. This function is going to be called after 3 milliseconds. So after that I have to declare this step function, this one. I say function step, and this step is going to do these things for us. First of all, is checking if the position was equal to the point. This is going to check if the current position equal to the steps of that we declared, which is 30. So if this was equal to this one, so I say increase to the point. increase to the point 30, and then clear the interval. So I say clear interval. Using the clear interval, you can clear an interval. So here I put the interval name, which is interval. And now we need to write the else statement for it. So I say else, and in the else statement, we move the car. So I say add to the position, actually to this position, and after that car1 dot style dot margin left to position. And cause this position is a pure number, we have to concatenate it with px2 can be added using these. So now using using CSS, so I save it and go to the browser and refresh it. Here when I click on the start button, so I click on, this is disabled for now, but you see that the yellow car is moving. And here I'm going to make the input type this able to click on. So on the on click of this, where is on click here, maybe it's not format code, but it will make us button disable, input type focus, and input type dot disable it equal to false. So save it and go to the browser, and now everything is fine for now. It's generate the random word inside the word. So let's check what's wrong here. Random word in the input type, actually here we have to put in the value of this. So I say value word dot value, and that's going to add the value of word. So I save it and go to the browser, refresh, and I start on the on click of this, save it. So save it, I declare the word here. Here is the word in the input and the inner HTML of word. So where I put it, this one, and the button dot disable it. Sorry for this. Where was it? Where I created generated word, and the word dot inner HTML. We're going to put this one. So I save it, go to the browser, refresh, and here we go. We have the world, and if I press the world, you see that it moved the car, this one. So press, and this car is moving. So whenever this is reached to the end of this, we wanted to car move fastly to the forward and announce us that we want. Here I write some code. So here I say if the, sorry for that mistake that I made, all programmers do. So it's going to add to the position of it. You remember that I declared the position of two numbers, actually, whatever it was, and it's going to put the car1 dot style dot margin left, and its margin left we are going to put the position and concatenate it with px. So that was from our game, and hopefully you enjoy. And if I test it out, you will see that it's working, and you can put more words here, here, and the variable of random, this random. Where was it? Here I have a text file which is word, and here I have too many words. I just control A and copy and paste it down here. So here I declare it in paste it down here. This is a variable. So now if I save it and go to the browser, actually this one is bigger. We make the uh, bigger, not uppercase. We have to make it to lowercase. So where I can put the lowercase here, I just put that to lowercase, and at the on click of this to word dot to lowercase. So save it, and now if I test this one, you see that inch is everything is fine, and this is going to generate as a random word. I don't know why inch all coming. Why didn't generate me a random word? So let me check. Maybe something is wrong here. Math.random. I didn't put this one. Maybe everything is fine. Function return 0.5. Math is bigger. Is this part of this space? No, I couldn't see. Everything is fine. Input type dot inner HTML. Input type dot value inner HTML. Sorry. Word dot inner HTML. Word dot inner HTML. So save it and go to the browser. Now if I check it, it's city, and I type the city, and it's going to generate me a new word. So hope you guys enjoys, and if you like this kind of videos, make sure to subscribe my channel. So so bye.